What is Forex and how does it work? Well, Forex stands for foreign exchange, which is the simple exchange of foreign currencies. You probably experienced this going to Mexico or on your trip to Europe or to the US. You pay a different price for the dollar. So how do dollars get valued? That it has some extreme complexities behind it because a dollar represents an entire economy as a whole, and economies go through boom and bust cycles. Now, the Forex market is the largest traded market with a daily average volume of around $5 to $6 trillion, which makes sense because those are the representations of places like China, Europe, Canada, the US. And if you want to know how these currencies fluctuate, well, just look at the news. I'm sure you heard of Brexit, that was affecting the euro. I'm sure you heard of Trump taking on tariffs to go at China, that affects the yuan. So today I'm going to show you how you get rich trading Forex and how Forex affects everybody, including stock traders. So ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into this.
Drop it.
18-year-old foreign exchange trader. I have a group called Powerhouse Investments LLC where I mentor people and I show them how to trade, and it's not free. So stop hitting me up thinking that it's free.
There's nothing cringier than watching an 18-year-old from a bathroom teach you on Forex trading. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, it ain't free. There is a new trend going on amongst the youth, and that is trading currencies. And you don't have to go far on YouTube to find that millionaire strategy that's going to take you there so you can quit your day job at a very young age. But I'm going to teach you some of the truths and reality behind Forex trading and how it affects me personally as a stock trader. Many of you that have been around my channel for a while know I buy foreign stocks, and heck, even companies in your own country sometimes have foreign exposure that is affected by currency. And we're going to come back to this toward the end of the video. But first of all, how do you even trade currency? Well, you can open up apps. There's all kinds of apps. That is what's drawing the youth in. But what I can do is just go into my own bank account. I have a US dollar account. I can type in my Canadian currency and simply transfer it to USD. And then it all comes down to the fluctuation of the dollar. So how are people trading this to get rich? How do you make money at this? Well, there's so much volatility in dollars because they're based off economic cycles, and it's so hard to understand how trillions of dollars are getting moved around, which causes usually some pretty extreme fluctuations, which we're going to look at through a few different currencies. But as a simple example, say I'm a Canadian investor. So $1 Canadian equals 70 cents US, and we can see the fluctuation over time. There seems to be almost 3-cent fluctuations on a regular basis, which doesn't sound like a whole lot. So how does this work? Well, let's say the Canadian dollar is up like it is now at 77 cents. That means I'll be able to buy more US dollars for every Canadian dollar. And then let's say the Canadian dollar drops by 3 cents. Well, all of a sudden, if I trade my USDs back to CAD, my USDs are actually worth more. So I'll be getting more Canadian in return. And in a simple example, let's say I had 10,000 Canadian dollars that I transferred to USD. And then all of a sudden, Canadian dropped by 3 cents. And because it's my hometown currency, I decided that I want to trade back because I'm going to get more CAD in return. And let's say that's a 3-cent difference on that $10,000. Well, I just made $300. And I'm hoping this doesn't sound complicated because it's just as simple as doing that. And as my demonstration in my currency account here, it would just be as simple as making a simple trade there and a simple trade back. But let's look at how these currencies are affected by news, because if we look at something like the Iranian dollar, since that plane crash that recently happened, we can see some extreme fluctuation compared to the US dollar by almost 6 cents at a time, almost on a bi-daily basis. Comparing it to something like the euro, with all the stuff going on with Brexit in the European Union, we can see some extreme volatility over a 5-year term in the euro. But taking even a look at the 1-month trend, we can see that it fluctuates, typically between 1 to 2 cents. Now, this is what people are doing on a regular basis. So how do you value these currencies? Well, there's no real way to value them because you can only value them against another currency. There's no other asset out there except for gold and silver that have kind of an underweighting value in comparison, because this isn't like a piece of real estate and this isn't exactly like a business. So how do you get rich trading these currencies? Well, it's just as simple as playing the trend, which is the equivalent of gambling. Anybody out there that is doing really well with currencies are usually trading a simple currency like a Canadian dollar, like a US dollar or a euro, and they're only trying to make a cent or two on every dollar. And they're trading it back to their own currency, which has to be worth less when you're trading it back, which is something that a lot of people don't consider either. So this has some deep complexities to it because there's no way to fully understand where this stuff goes. Unless you're an economist, there's there's just no way to gauge this correctly or intelligently. You are literally just playing the day trades, and it is just the same as day trading stocks. So let's take a look at my own portfolio with examples of how I deal with foreign exchange, because every stock trader deals with this, and it's something you have to include even if you're buying businesses within your own country. For example, taking a company like Northland Power here, which is one of my favorite utilities of all time, though it is a Canadian stock, it does have foreign exposure because it's running projects and it's making income in Europe. So it does have some conversions when that dollar comes back, and it's something that you could pay attention to your investment portfolio. But where the real complexities come in for people, if you're buying direct foreign companies like I do in the US, and taking a look at my foreign companies, many of you know them, like MO and Apple, and the thing that I have to pay attention to here is where that Canadian dollar sits, because if that Canadian dollar is up where it is now, I would much rather be buying US stocks, because if that Canadian dollar drops a couple cents, well, literally every single dollar I have in the US becomes worth a couple cents more, which in the macro and in like a small perspective doesn't sound like a lot, but in the big perspective, when you're having say 50 or 100,000 in US, well, damn, we're talking about some real differences if I ever decide to trade this back. Now, to avoid dealing directly with currency fluctuations, I keep all my money in foreign accounts. So I keep it in a US account. So when my income comes in, it comes in USDs. Same with my CAD, comes in as CAD. And that way I'm not dealing with the constant fluctuation of the dollar, and I can choose when to sell my US dollars and maybe trade them back to CAD, because I might be living here, I might need some expenses, and obviously I could just spend US dollars because they're pretty much globally accepted, but heck, maybe the dollar's up like it is right now, and I want to wait a little longer to see if I can just get a little bit more CAD for my USD. So what I can do here instead is just sit and wait and see what the dollar does. Now, this is something I don't think you have to pay a huge amount of attention to, because it's something that you're going to experience no matter what you're doing with your investments, because most companies you own like Apple or Microsoft have global currencies coming in, something similar like a McDonald's, or heck, even my BTI is a British based company that trades on the New York Stock Exchange, and this company is doing excessively well right now because the Brexit deal is finally getting resolved. These are some of the simpler ways that I've basically been looking at Forex within my own trading platform and how I've been utilizing it, but it's something that I don't want you to personally get caught up in, because it's something that you can't understand, and it's the equivalent of day trading stocks. Nobody knows what a currency is going to do, and trying to predict it is the equivalent of gambling. Now, if you want to swing trade and you want to attempt it, I don't recommend doing this with a lot of money, because most places that you're going to trade with are going to offer you some kind of margin account. I don't know what this trading platform is, but I promise you, if I look through here hard enough, I will probably find something that says, oh, well, you have no money. Well, how about we give you, maybe 10, 20,000 on margin, and you can go trade currencies with that, because currencies are considered a little bit safer to trade than stocks. But why would I rather choose stocks over currencies? Well, I can understand a business better than I can understand an entire economy. I know how Apple works, no matter how the dollar is going to affect it. I know how, BTI, British American Tobacco, these tobacco companies are going to work. It doesn't matter what the dollar is. Now, sure, I could lose money on the conversion, but because I am here for cash flow, I can rely that no matter what, these companies are going to be paying me monthly or quarterly checks that I can spend as I please, and I don't have to think so hard about what the dollar's doing. And even though the dollar could fluctuate, so could the stock price, but I'm not gambling, I'm not day trading, and I'm not swing trading, and I'm not speculating. So to follow up, guys, my personal thoughts on this with the whole trend going on YouTube is the youth needs to be taught some of these lessons, that you guys want to be buying companies that are going to make you money for the rest of your life. Like, I would rather you buy Tesla stock and hold on to that than try and start doing currency trading, because once you get into Forex, you are not brilliant. I am a 5-year experienced investor with a 6-figure stock portfolio, and even I can't fully grasp how Forex works. So and I'm not even that great, man. There's people that have been around the block 10 times more than I have, even like Kevin O'Leary, that would tell you do not trade Forex. So take a break from listening to these guys. Maybe come on over to my channel or listen to some people that I work with like Matt Money. So take some advice from people that actually know what they're doing, not 18-year-olds in their bathroom, you guys can come on over here and actually take some advice from myself and Matt Money. We both manage six-figure portfolios on both sides of the borders, and we both can help you get you in the right direction in the path toward financial freedom and success, because I'm not here to guarantee you're going to get rich quick like these Forex traders are, but I'm sure as hell going to guarantee that you're going to get rich for sure following our investment strategies and platforms. And by the way, why waste your time even trading? I'm getting rich following Warren Buffett's advice by just buying solid companies and holding on to them for the rest of my life and letting them drip me cash every single month. That, in my opinion, there's nothing richer than that, because you can, afford to buy a coffee, go out with your wife, take your girlfriend on a date. Who knows, but someone else will be paying for it instead of you worrying about what the currency is doing, like a Bitcoin going up and down like wildfires. So let me know what all of you guys think about this in the comment section below, and slap a like if you learned something today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay cool, stay awesome. I look forward to chatting to y'all real soon.